What's going on, guys? So me and Colton Glunt, the guy that did my dash panels, I tricked him into doing my dash panels. That was a rough one. We're gonna get this T56 installed. He just installed one in his car. You've probably seen it on Pure Functions channel. His car is all dialed in and done except for the alternator took a shit, so that's why it's not here, which sucks because I was hoping he'd bring it today. But so he's trimmed up the, what do you call this thing, the clutch alignment tool, so we can pop out the old throttle or pilot bearing. You know what? Is the old pilot bearing that big of a hole?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought they were different sizes. Here, let me see it.
If not, we can always just trim that.
Why? I think I have one for the Toyota one. Yeah, it's a different size. Usually you can just force things in tight holes, but it's not working. All right. Oh God. I might have another one. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna get that old pilot bearing out, put the new pilot bearing in, because it uses a different one for the T56. And then flywheel. Yeah, there's a flywheel, clutch, bell housing, transmission, right? Yeah. So it's actually a lot easier that way because, where's that? Over here. You install this first. Well, after you do the clutch and everything, then the transmission bolts to this and makes it a lot easier to put the transmission in. So, all right, we'll start getting stuff installed here. And we'll show you guys. Yeah. All right, guys. So Colton just got done. Whoops. Colton just got done putting on the flywheel and the pilot bearing, and you can see there's like a little beveled area for the pilot bearing, and that's, you make that flush with the bottom of that beveled area. All the flywheel bolts use red Loctite, and they get torqued to 75 foot-pounds. So that's on. And now we're going to do the clutch and then the bell housing, and then we need to take some measurements for the throwout bearing. So yeah, so I'll go over the measuring because that confused me when I first heard about it. And you have to make sure it's right or you'll be pulling the transmission back out. Colton found that out the hard way. So we're going to go ahead and get the flywheel on, or the pressure, or the clutch and everything on, and then, yeah, keep going. Okay. All right, guys, so we got the pressure plate and clutch on, and it is a Tilton ST246 twin disc with sprung hubs. So as you're putting this on, the best thing to do is have the billet alignment tool already in, and then you put the whole assembly on, and the whole time you're tightening it, you're going in a star pattern with blue Loctite on the bolts, and you're doing a little bit at a time, going in your star pattern and making sure that this moves like this the entire time. If it binds up, it's gonna be, well, you won't be able to get the transmission on. It has to be freely moving like this. So now that that's done, we can do the bell housing, and then I guess the starter, and then the transmission, and then drive shaft, exhaust, we're done. Well, and fluid. So we're gonna go ahead and do the bell housing, get the starter on, and then I guess get the transmission thrown in. All right, guys, so we got the bell housing installed. You will have to jack up the motor to get the two top bolts. It's almost impossible to get it. So bell housing's installed, starter's on. Now we have to measure from these teeth across here with a straight edge, and then measure from here, let me just crawl out of the car, I'll show you guys. Oh God. measure from, it's this plate. You have to put this plate on first, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you measure from here to, I think it's the edge of this. And then you subtract 3.5 millimeters or something. I'm going to watch the video of Joel doing it, and then I'll tell you guys exactly, or just show you. But we got to cut my straight edge because it's too long. And then I'll show you guys how to do the measuring. All right, guys, so what you want to do is you want to take your straight edge, put it across the bell housing like that. And then let's see if I can... Then you take your oh God, I can't remember what the hell this tool is, but you measure from the fingers. So you measure from the fingers to the straight edge using the bottom of this right here. So when you line it up, it's like that. And ours is 69.70. It was 0.75, but that 0.05 is, that 0.05 is not going to make that much of a difference. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you the other measurement here. So our measurement from the bell housing to the fingers was 69.75. So you subtract 3.5 from that and you get 66.25. Let me set this. We've already done it, so let me... Okay. Can you hold this straight edge? So you have your straight edge against the face of the bearing, and then you take your, what is this called? I can't remember. I don't know, like a caliper, dowel caliper, or some shit like that. You go to the, I guess it'd be part of the bell housing of the transmission, to the edge of your straight edge here, and you want it to be flush, just like you did for the other measurement. And then this will spin, this whole thing will spin in and out, and then we ended up using the small, what the hell they call that? It's just like a holder. This doesn't actually like bolt this down and hold it tight, because you can see it still wiggles. It's meant to just hold it so it can float. And then your bleeder, which is this one. Yeah, the bleeder, you always want to be at the top. So whether this is going out this way or this way, the top one will be your bleeder. And then I didn't have any line. So I saw on Joel's video, he wrapped these with brake line and zip tied them. I don't have any brake line, and honestly, it'll be out of the way. It's just an added precaution, and if it really bothers me, this hole here is huge. I can fit my hand in here and do that later on if need be. So the only thing we have to do is start a bolt into this, because it's really hard to get to that one later, and then put the trans up in. So we're getting there, but we're going to go ahead and get the trans up in the car, and then I guess we'll show you guys some more. Alright guys, so you can see the transmission's in. Lines are all hooked up tight, filled with fluid, cross members on. You got to be careful with these, because so you leave these loose and all these loose as you put this on. And then once you tighten up the 4 cross member bolts, you can tighten up these 2 nuts, but don't go any more than 35 foot-pounds or they will break. And then you have drive shafts in. Yeah, it's all bolted up. So now we're going to work on the wiring, get that figured out, bleed the clutch. Colton's doing the shifter right now. And then we need to figure out where the clutch pedal needs to be, because it's not sitting where it needs to sit right now, so we'll have to adjust that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and knock out this wiring and I'll show you guys that once it's done. Alright guys, so we already started it up. Everything's really good, no leaks somehow. So we got the wiring done. So I had everything set up for the R154. So you can see I have the blue wire with the red stripe. That's the signal wire. So that's what I used to get the signal for the speed sensor. And then I figured out which wire there's two red and brown wires off of the Bluetooth harness, and then there's a red wire for power. So I hooked my ground up, got my power going to the factory reverse switch on power, which is the yellow wire there, and then the red and brown wire goes into that as well, and then the other red and brown wire goes into the other red wire on the factory reverse wiring. It's actually pretty easy. If you have an R154 and you're upgrading and you have a Jose harness, this should be the same. So we got all that ran. Everything else plugs in over here. Bluetooth module here. We already started messing with it. We need to go set the speedo because it's crazy off. Let me keep going. Oh God. And then that's the shifter in the car. So it's way nicer than the R154. It doesn't feel like a truck. And then that's reverse. The reverse is a lot easier once the car has power. Or does it have to be running?
It has to be running. You let it run for like 4 or 5 seconds, it'll loosen up. You have to activate the Bluetooth.
Okay, so that's how much easier reverse is when it's running. Reverse when it's off, you really got to yank it over. So that's pretty much it for that. We need to go take it for a ride here and set the speedo. I'm gonna go underneath and finish buttoning up all the wiring, and then we need to drop it down. I need to put my strut tower bar on, tighten up a breather hose, torque all the wheels, and then we can go for a ride. Well, we need to go get fuel. I don't know how much is in it. We might just take the Beamer and go get go fill up 4 jugs of E85. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we got the speedometer all set up and working. Just took it for a little drive down the street. I really need an alignment, and I'm glad I'm getting it done on Monday because this thing pulls all over the place. Well, it doesn't pull. It's just the steering feels weird. So, and the steering wheel is off. So we're that's pretty much it. I mean, everything's done. Thanks to Colton for coming over and helping, because I don't think I'd have been able to get it done this quick. But Monday, get the alignment done, and then I don't know, hopefully I'm doing cams this winter. Oh, and hopefully my wing's done soon. This thing looks weird without a wing. I know a lot of people like the no wing look, but I am not a fan. This car looks really weird without a wing. It looks like a 350Z without a wing on the back. It really does. It looks so stupid. And those cars are hideous. But that's gonna be it for this one, guys. And we got it all set up. If you have any questions, just let me know. And if you decide to do this swap, I can walk you through what I learned and what mistakes not to make. But that's gonna be it. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.